Welcome to a new update, and today we're going to look at the prices of Bitcoin, as Bitcoin has been hitting resistance, has been consolidating, and through which we can also expect more volatility to come within the next few weeks. So we're going to look at how my long is actually doing and which levels I'll be watching if I want to get into a position. And we're going to look at some macroeconomic events which have been important to watch through this week. However, the eyes were on SBF, who was speaking a few times this week, still getting a stage, and therefore the focus of the majority is probably on the wrong side of things at this point, as macroeconomic events are way more important. Before we continue, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to this YouTube channel, as we are making daily content on the markets, and soon we will be back with some more professional content as well. Also, make sure to check out our ByBit deal, in which we are working with them, and we can grant you 1 month for free in our premium platform, in which we also have our portfolios there. In which the trade portfolio has kickstarted since a week. We are up approximately 7%, and also we are kickstarting the swing trade portfolio, and we've got trade IDs, and the trade IDs have been doing 27R in the past 3 months, so that is 27% if you're risking 1% of your portfolio. So check it out, and even if you deposit $1,000 on ByBit and do one futures trade, you get $100 for free. Now, when we're looking at the markets, we have to look at Forex Factory again, because yesterday was a big day. We've got the PCE coming in, which came in as expected at 6%, but also the core PCE, as we can see here, came in lower than what was expected. So the inflation is going down. So the levels are going to be lower than what they have been assuming, and inflation is dropping faster than most have been anticipating, through which the expectations are that CPI is most likely going to come in way lower during the coming months than expected. And that's why Powell has been saying earlier that he most likely will slow down the pace of the hikes. So it's going to be important to expect or important to watch what he will be saying in the future. If he is going to slow down the pace of the hikes, the cutting edge is going to be there, because the inflation or the federal funds rate will be higher than the inflation, and then that's the point where they can start slowing down, pausing, or even pivoting, in which the result is that most likely markets are going to continue showing the strength, at least for a little bit of time, because we get some relief rally, but the impact of the rate hikes always is going to be later, so approximately 6 to 12 months after the actual event takes place. So if we get a relief rally, it's not going to be saying that we are all of a sudden into a bull cycle, but we grant ourselves some momentum, and that is also going to grant some momentum towards Bitcoin, which is currently still getting punished because of FTX, which has been getting a stage in the past few days, and I think that he should not be getting a stage unless it is in court. That is the only thing that matters right now. So I think that we should be stopping giving him a stage, and we should be stopping actually giving him a stage for our own engagement purposes. And that's what has been happening a lot. So I just don't feel good about that. So we have been seeing that the case for potential inflation going down even more, and the Fed to start adjusting has been increasing. And then another number came out, which is the manufacturing PMI, which is for the first time beneath 50 since, as we can see here, since June 2020. June 2020 we had 43.1, that was during the Corona and COVID crash. Right now we are beneath 50, which is that we are seeing contraction, and that's usually an indicator that the Fed starts to pivot relatively soon. So this is another ingredient for potentially a case that we're going to be adjusting the entire policy at this point, and that's why you also see the DXY dropping quite fast. Today, after this video, I've been shooting this video in the morning, so after that we get the non-farm employment change, definitely a key trigger to watch. It's going to be giving an impact on the markets as a whole, so we should be keeping an eye on that in the next few weeks. Of course, with the Fed speaking and CPI coming in, are going to be big. Now, when we're looking at the DXY, we can conclude that the DXY has started to fall down massively, and that's very comparable to 2017. It's also very comparable to this to the movements we've had in 2008 and 2011, in which fast drops take place. downwards trend to take place, and that usually should be suiting Bitcoin. However, we got some intrinsic market conditions that has been pushing the markets down for Bitcoin even more. But if the inflation starts to drop down and the Fed starts to adjust, the risk on appetite is going to be increasing even more, knowing the fact that Bitcoin is currently the most undervalued ever and is back into the regions of valuation that we've also been witnessing at the lows in 2015 and at the lows in 2018. And then you got the overall conclusion that Bitcoin is in a different macroeconomic environment at this point, as it has never been acting into a recession. That is true. However, the recession is currently already getting priced in. The expected, it has been priced in. So the impact of that is usually that people are seeking for assets that are finally safe, which means that what we are seeing in the past few weeks is that silver has been bouncing up quite swiftly as well. I've been monitoring this level since 2020 and we've got a bounce here, and I think that silver is even going to continue moving all the way towards 24 and then start a bull cycle, in which we've also been seeing a tremendous period of strength in 2010 to 2011 on silver. If we're looking at gold, gold has also been seeing a correction during 2008 because of the recession and the crisis taking place. But since then, a giant run has been happening in which it 2x'd even more during the aftermath of the markets at that stage. Right now, we are again bouncing from a level that I've been marking earlier, which means that of course Bitcoin should be acting higher if the FTX didn't happen at this point. But we have been witnessing the correction already. We have been witnessing that the strength of the DXY already, and currently there's weakness taking place of the DXY. So there is ultimately a result that the Bitcoin starts to do quite well in the years after, if the markets are starting to show that there is a recession, because people fly towards safe havens, and Bitcoin is still acting as one and will continue to do so, and even more in the coming decades. Now, when we're looking at the price action of Bitcoin, I'm coming to the same conclusion as we have been witnessing it previously. Everything beneath 18k can become a deviation, and it has to be reclaiming that level. So right now we are watching whether 18 to 18.5k is going to be reclaimed as support, and if that happens, it's going to open the gates towards a test of 30k. How am I positioning myself at this point? I'm still into a long. If you are a member of our group, you can see which position I have, but I'm currently still focused on this long, which I still have since around 16.4, and I'm targeting the range at 18k. If we get that in a quite swift way and we are going to consolidate there and don't see a heavy sell-off taking place, it is very likely that we're going to crack to 18k, and then the trade towards 21k opens, in which you can assume that we're going to squeeze all the way up as we are reclaiming the levels and a lot of shorts are getting taken out. So right now I'm positioning myself into longs based on the fact that there is a change in policy going to happen, weakness on the DXY, risk on doing pretty well, and crypto being sold off because of intrinsic market movements, and that panic is slowly fading away. And if Genesis starts to pop up and say, hey, we have actually taken care of the entire situation, we are going to get into a pretty damn good Q1 of 2023. That's the update for today. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll be back with 2 altcoin updates during this weekend, and have a wonderful weekend. Ciao.